Greetings, St. Maarten. I'm Yesenia Lassero.
And I'm also Lawrence.
And welcome to another edition of St. Maarten News Desk.
Brought to you by TV15.
We bring the latest and most important stories around the island and beyond.
It's the holiday season. Let's jump into these top headlines. Minister tackling response to spate of robberies. The Minister of Justice, Honorable Natalie Tacklin, issued a forceful statement Sunday evening following the violent smash and grab robbery at a Maho jewelry store on Saturday night. A crime she described not only as an attack on business, but an attack on the rule of law and on the sense of safety our community deserves. Directly addressing the perpetrators, Minister Tacklin delivered an uncompromising warning. You will be found, you will be persecuted, and you will face the consequences. She emphasized that such acts are not a display of daring, but criminal behavior that authorities are determined to stop. According to the minister, investigative work began immediately, with law enforcement leadership reviewing details and advancing operations throughout the day. She confirmed that evidence is being secured and that targeted actions are already in motion. An urgent high-level meeting was scheduled Monday morning with the Chief of Police and Chief Prosecutor. The minister stressed that this is not a routine check-in, but a coordinated intervention to tighten operations and accelerate enforcement across all units. Minister Tacklin also underscored that crime cannot be addressed by a single ministry. It demands a whole of government and community-wide approach. She pledged continued cooperation across agencies to restore calm and safeguard residents, businesses, and visitors. Her message ended with a clear assurance: we will protect this island. Criminals will not dictate how we live or how we feel. Justice will.
Good afternoon to the people of Sint Maarten. I want to speak to you directly and with the full weight of responsibility that this office carries. That's why I'm sitting here today to address you together with the support of the Chief of Police, Mr. Carl John, and the Chief Prosecutor, Ms. Maho. Our country has seen a surge in robberies in recent days and weeks. I hear your concerns, I feel your frustration, and I know the urgency. And I'm here to share with you that we, as law enforcement, are not sitting still, and we have not been sitting still for the past months. Together with our police force and the prosecutor's office, we've continued to be proactive and coordinated from every angle, at home, within our kingdom, and also within the region. Case in point, we requested the assistance of the Marines for the high season already back in October, but this process has taken time and quite some negotiation with the Netherlands, and we are awaiting this support so that they can further assist KPSM with daily operations. While here, if that request is approved, the Marines will operate under the directives of our Chief of Police, Mr. Carl John. Additionally, we've also requested further assistance from the VKS. These actions have been months in the making, not just today or yesterday. After all, safety does not come from ad hoc or last-minute responses, but safety comes from planning and from sustaining actions. Speaking of planning, already back in July, 10 detectives were requested from the Kingdom Cooperation Team, the RST, and the Dutch National Police. We continue to work with our partners towards this, and for our safety and security, as well as that of our kingdom, this investigative capacity is essential. We're not only waiting for support, though. We already have some. For the past 4 weeks, for example, we've been aided by the Marechaussee with 2 investigators assisting KPSM. And this support has already had positive results in our operation. I know that our community is calling for more blue on the streets. This is already a fact, and you will see even more with increased controls all over the island. Preventative searches are already also in place and will continue to be in place for the foreseeable future. What do I mean when I talk about preventative searches? It means that our police officers have enhanced powers to stop and search you as a matter of public safety and security. I want to say that this is not an inconvenience, but it's a necessary measure. And it's also one that we do not deploy lightly. In spite of all that we are doing and we plan to do, the hard truth that we cannot ignore is that crime does not begin with the police. The police respond to crime. We have to take a hard look at where crime can grow, in our homes, our neighborhoods, our schools, and the places where we fail to take care of our basic needs. The police and prosecution service are at the end. We as a community need to stand up, and we need to stand tall to make our homes and our lives safer as well. This is the only way that we can move forward and help our law enforcement in the long run. And so, I will say this again with the seriousness that this moment demands. Justice cannot raise our children, whether they're small, they're grown. Justice cannot supervise every street corner or every business establishment. Justice cannot rebuild the social fabric of this country alone. We, as a community, need to be the strong, steady thread holding that social fabric together. If we have law enforcement doing its part and the community helping along, we must support this with sustained, multi-year funding to grow our police force, modernize policing, expand investigations and detention capacity, strengthen the use of technology to build a stronger and more resilient foundation. This is the level of investment I will continue to advocate for loudly, firmly, and unapologetically because our people deserve nothing less. To our community, we stand with you. Stay vigilant, support your neighbors, and if you see something, say something. To our officers, your commitment is visible. To our government partners, prevention is all of our responsibility. Let's invest sustainably in safety in this country. To Sint Maarten, we will get through this. With unity, accountability, and long-term structural investment, we will restore stability and peace of mind. I thank you very much for your time, and please continue to follow our pages for more updates as we navigate this.
Major resilience projects near completion across Sint Maarten. Several of Sint Maarten's most important critical infrastructure upgrades under the Emergency Recovery Project 1, ERP1, are now approaching completion, marking a significant step forward in strengthening the island's resilience in energy, emergency communications, and weather monitoring. The largest component, a U.S. $5.1 million underground cabling project with NVGB, is in its final stages. This initiative builds on earlier ERP1 works from 2022, which installed low-voltage electrical lines and water pipes underground across much of the Cul-de-Sac Basin. With that foundation in place, crews are now completing mid-voltage cabling and additional water distribution improvements in Bishop Hill, Coal Bay, Dutch Quarter, Point Blanche, and parts of South Ward. Once finished, expected by February 2026, GB's entire mid-tension grid will be fully underground, reducing hurricane-related outages and improving overall network stability. Another key milestone nearing completion is the island's new cell broadcasting system, an emergency alert platform capable of sending real-time disaster warnings directly to mobile phones. The system is entering in its final testing phase and will rely on existing telecom networks to deliver urgent safety messages during storms, flooding, or other hazards. The ERP1 program also includes the installation of 5 automated weather stations, along with standalone rain and tidal gauges across the island. These tools will provide continuous high-quality data to the Met Department, tracking rainfall, temperature, humidity, and wind to improve day-to-day forecasting as well as early warning precision during severe weather events. Installation and staff training for these systems are also slated for completion by February 2026. ERP1 is being executed by the National Recovery Program Bureau, NRPB, on behalf of the Government of Sint Maarten, funded through the Dutch financed and World Bank managed Sint Maarten Trust Fund. Ministry of Education launches conflict resolution training in high schools. The Ministry of Education, Culture, Youth and Sport has launched a new conflict resolution training, CRT pilot, aimed at addressing rising student violence across Sint Maarten schools. Led by the Division for Educational Innovation, DEI, The initiative brings together educators, first form students, and parents in a coordinated effort to create safer, more supportive school environments. The program responds to growing concerns highlighted in recent UNICEF and Court of Guardianship reports, which document increases in fighting, bullying, intimidation, classroom disruption, and cyberbullying. The CRT pilot focuses on equipping educators with modern, evidence-based tools to prevent, de-escalate, and manage conflict, using approaches rooted in social and emotional learning, nonviolent communication, positive youth development, trauma-informed care, and restorative practices. The first week of sessions held at Sundial School and facilitated by regional consultant Dwinette D. Eversley brought together 15 educators from Sundial, the St. Maarten Vocational Training School, and the St. Maarten Academy Vocational Business Campus. Educators openly discussed the challenges they face and emphasized that improving school culture requires participation from all personnel, not just teachers. Participants also developed key frameworks, including a shared safe space charter and a standardized student referral system to ensure early support for students at risk. The CRT is aligned with the National Youth Monitor, which will help measure school climate and track the pilot's effectiveness. As the program enters week 2, the focus shifts toward direct engagement with students and parents. Caribbean Associates for Life Skills, Mediation, and Management Director Marlon Bascombe, along with Social Impact Specialist Kwazi Kujo, will guide first form students through leadership building activities, help co-create the Safe Space Charter, and introduce new tools such as mediation logs, peace scorecards, and parent-student pledges. The long-term project runs through 2026 and is supported by a team of regional experts in youth violence prevention. Educators closed the first week with renewed optimism and a shared commitment to building school environments defined by respect, care, and positive relationships. While many islands are tightening their security plans, St. Maarten's Prime Minister has taken the conversation straight to the heart of the kingdom. His recent meetings in the Netherlands touched on crime, safety, and the future of our institutions. We break down what happened coming up. But first, Mizzy with the Sunshine Report.
Hey there, it's Mizzy with the Sunshine Report, straight out of Sunshine City, Sint Maarten, bringing you the warmth and the sunshine you need to kickstart your day. So let's dive into today's forecast and see how the skies are treating us. And that's it for your Sunshine Report, brought to you by the Met Department of St. Maarten. So as you enjoy your Monday, stay safe, stay friendly, Sunshine City.
A new day begins. The sun rises over St. Maarten, bringing new energy, new possibilities. This island was built on resilience, progress, and the strength of its people. Our connection is what moves us forward. It links our communities, our businesses, our families. From the heart of the island to the shores beyond, we've connected St. Maarten. From every street to every home, this network was built for St. Maarten by St. Maarten hands. Connection isn't just about signals, it's about people. This is your island, and your network recharged. Proudly local, we're here for today, tomorrow, and every milestone ahead.
I am Karim Tulen, co-founder of Karim Assist Pro. Our goal is to help busy professionals, elderly, housewife, local, tourists, practically anybody that needs assistance in the day-to-day chores.
We have different services like groceries, do your shopping, and also run your errands. We can provide transportation services for all members of the family, whether it's you on commute or getting the kids to school. House activities and house services that include pet sitting. All of these let us take off your hands and let us make those reservations so you don't have to stress about having a good time.
So you can have less stress and more free time. Through our discretion, we make an impression.
Minister Brug congratulates Breaking the Chokehold team during 16 days of activism. The Minister of Public Health, Social Development and Labor, the Honorable Richinel Brug, has extended heartfelt congratulations to the Breaking the Chokehold initiative team as St. Maarten concluded its national observance of the annual Unite 16 Days of Activism against Gender-Based Violence. The campaign ran from November 25th, International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women, through December 10th, recognized worldwide as International Human Rights Day. This year's observance placed strong emphasis on prevention, protection, and community accountability in the fight against domestic violence. Partnering with the Ministry of ASR, the Breaking the Chokehold initiative led a series of impactful activities focused on early warning signs, safe exit planning, empowering community observers, strengthening leadership roles, and supporting victims while upholding ethical boundaries. As part of the 16 Days campaign, the ministry and its partners organized 3 free community screenings of the film Chokehold. Each screening was followed by an expert panel discussion and a specialized workshop titled Be Informed, Be Aware, Stand for Change, held at the University of St. Maarten. The workshop was facilitated by gender-based violence advocate Cassandra Richardson. The ministry extended its appreciation to the Breaking the Chokehold team, the panelists, and the many residents who attended the screenings and workshops, contributing to a unified national response aimed at reducing and ultimately eliminating domestic violence in St. Maarten. The Mental Health Foundation welcomes psychiatrist Dr. Delia Herrera to its clinical team. The Mental Health Foundation has officially welcomed Dr. Delia Herrera as its newest psychiatrist, strengthening the island's mental health capacity at a critical time for community well-being. Originally from Cuba, Dr. Herrera brings more than 24 years of international clinical, academic, and leadership experience in general and forensic psychiatry. A graduate of the Higher Institute of Medical Sciences of Santiago de Cuba, Dr. Herrera has built an impressive career, spanning roles as a medical psychiatrist, senior lecturer, department head, and clinical consultant across multiple countries, including 10 years in Tanzania, where she worked extensively in hospital, prison, and community settings. She is fluent in English, Spanish, and Creole, enabling her to serve the diverse populations that seek care at MHF. MHF says the addition of Dr. Herrera will significantly enhance support for clients and the broader community, reinforcing the organization's mission to improve mental health outcomes across St. Maarten. St. Dominic High School's 24-hour Lesson-a-Thon returns with resounding success. After a pandemic-related hiatus, St. Dominic High School has triumphantly revived its beloved 24-hour Lesson-a-Thon, an immersive marathon of learning, creativity, and school spirit that ran from Friday, November 28th to Saturday, November 29th. The long-awaited return generated tremendous enthusiasm as 28 students and teachers committed to a full day of collaborative lessons, challenges, and friendly competition among the school's 4 houses: Sister Maria Goretti, Sister Bakita, Sister John Paul II, and St. Michael the Archangel. This year's Lesson-a-Thon highlighted themes of resilience, innovation, and togetherness, qualities that have defined the St. Dominic community through recent years. The event opened with a formal etiquette dinner, setting the stage for a night filled with both structured learning and lively activities. The successful revival of the Lesson-a-Thon marks an important milestone for St. Dominic High School, celebrating learning, unity, and the enduring strength of its school community. Planning is already underway to make next year's event even more memorable. From high-level talks on rising crime to new partnerships that could strengthen healthcare, governance, and policing, it's been a full week of diplomacy for Prime Minister Marcelina. What was achieved and what comes next? Our featured story is right after the break.
You know, we all talk about having rights. And yeah, we do.
We have the right to be safe,
the right to learn and get an education,
the right to speak up and be heard,
the right to dream big and build our future.
But listen, rights don't stand alone.
We also have responsibilities.
Real talk, if we want respect, we gotta give respect too.
St. Maarten is our home.
So let's protect it. Keep our beaches clean, our streets clean, and show love to nature.
Healthy island, healthy future.
Our parents and guardians do a lot for us.
Let's show respect, talk to them, and listen, even when it's hard.
School prepares us for life.
So we show up, we stay focused, and we put in effort.
We want opportunities, so we work for them.
We are part of this community, every village, every culture, every neighborhood.
Let's be kind, positive, and supportive.
A stronger community starts with us.
And most importantly, we are responsible for ourselves.
We make healthy choices for our mind and body.
We believe in our goals and our voice and our future.
Our rights give us power, our responsibilities make us leaders. Together we rise.
The Convention of the Rights of the Child isn't just a policy, it's protection and responsibility. When our children learn their rights, they are better prepared to take on their responsibility. This public service announcement is brought to you by the Department of Youth.
Hi, my name is Mark Johnson from the Jewel Cottage and the Cottage Club Hotel and Sailor. I use Card Assist in Sint Maarten for all my shopping needs, and they provide me great service and they deliver everything in perfect condition and on time.
Today on our NEWSDESK feature story, we take a deeper look at the issues shaping life, policy, and progress across our island and the region. Our feature asks a guiding question. It breaks down the complexities behind major decisions, community concerns, and long-term developments that affect our environment, our economy, and the way we live. Our feature explores not only what is happening, but why it matters and what it could mean for St. Maarten's future.
These past few days, St. Maarten's Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Luc Marcelina, carried out one of its most consequential working visits to the Netherlands since taking office, one centered on a single theme: strengthening the systems that safeguard the country. From rising crime at home to long-standing structural issues within essential institutions, the Prime Minister arrived with a clear mission and left with several new commitments and collaborations now in motion. The visit began with a critical meeting with Dutch Prime Minister Dick Schoof, following a series of troubling incidents back home. robberies targeting visitors and residents in key tourism areas like Divi Little Bay, Simpson Bay, and Maho. With the island on edge and businesses expressing growing concern, Mercelina and Minister of Justice, the Honorable Natalie Tacklin, took the extraordinary step of requesting temporary military assistance. The goal: to reinforce visible security, assist local law enforcement, and reassure our community that safety remains the government's highest priority. Prime Minister Scrooge acknowledged both the urgency and validity of the request, confirming that the matter will be presented to the Dutch Ministers of Defense and Justice. And in a climate where regional tensions, especially between Venezuela and the United States, have sparked questions across the Caribbean, the Dutch Prime Minister also used the opportunity to reassure Sint Maarten that there is no direct or immediate threat to the kingdom. Monitoring continues, but panic is unnecessary. From security to stability, the agenda then moved into long-term capacity building with the signing of a major partnership agreement between Sint Maarten and VNG International, the Association of Dutch Municipalities. This new extraordinary membership represents much more than symbolic affiliation. It unlocks technical support, knowledge-sharing platforms, and 10-year cooperation programs in key areas such as mental health, medical professional training, energy transition, and civil service development. During the meeting, Prime Minister Mercelina and VNG Chair Sharon Dijksma discussed recruitment needs for the new hospital, added pathways for training specialists, and strategies for strengthening public sector professionalism. These initiatives form part of a broader effort to prepare Sint Maarten not just for today's needs, but for the institutional demands of the next decade. But perhaps the most urgent topic of the visit involved the government's formal request for financial support to upgrade Sint Maarten's aging police facilities, infrastructure that has struggled for decades, long before Hurricane Irma. The Prime Minister outlined long-standing deficiencies: leaks, mold, structural deterioration, non-compliance with labor standards, and temporary holding cells repeatedly flagged by the European Committee for the Prevention of Torture. Engineering assessments estimate that bringing the current station up to standard could cost as much as $6.5 million, a figure high enough to raise the question of whether a brand new police headquarters may be a more effective solution. Mercelina framed the request as a kingdom responsibility, one rooted in human rights, safety, and shared governance. And the Netherlands has already shown that cooperation works. Construction on a new prison, the result of a long-term joint planning, is expected to begin soon. Throughout his trip, Prime Minister Mercelina delivered a consistent message. Sint Maarten is ready to strengthen itself, ready to stabilize its institutions, and ready to take full advantage of the partnership opportunities within the kingdom. But this requires honesty about existing challenges, clarity about long-term goals, and collaboration at the highest levels. As he put it, this is a kingdom matter, and with shared responsibility comes shared action. For Sint Maarten, the path forward may not be simple, but this week's diplomatic effort suggests something important. The island is not facing these challenges alone.
And that brings us to the end of today's NEWSDESK feature story. Thank you for joining us as we look beyond the immediate story and think about the broader implications for our island. Whether the answers are clear or still evolving, the goal is to spark informed conversation and deepen understanding. This has been our featured story. That's all the time we have for today's edition of Sint Maarten NEWSDESK.
Thank you for joining us. Remember, new episodes premiere every weekday morning at 8 a.m. on TV15 and then across all social media platforms. I'm Austin Lawrence.
And I am Jacelyn Lassiter. I wish you an amazing day. See you tomorrow.
Happy holidays, Sint Maarten.